All right, we're going to move on to college football. And I guess in a move that many feel like was a long time in the making, Rob, Clay Helton fired by USC after there's only one way to describe that game, that loss to Stanford, Rob. Embarrassing.
No, they had an embarrassing loss to a rebuilding Stanford team, Chris. Yes,
you're favored by almost 18 points.
17.5-point favorites, and you get demolished and looked awful. And that'll get you – that's one of those games that get you fired where you come in and you know, like, they're going to be calling me into the office any minute now.
Well, do you think he knew that? Because, I mean, he had been Teflon. It's not like they didn't have opportunities before. He hadn't been horrible.
But they kept him around. They kept him around. And he's been there since 2010, Chris. On
the staff. Right.
Yeah, on the staff for that long. I mean, 11 years is a long time. But I did read Bill Plaschke's column in the Los Angeles Times after that game and basically called for his head.
He did call for his head.
USC. Right.
You said he didn't use the term firing him, but he did say he's got to go.
Right. He said it's time that they got to move on. Yeah. So
absolutely.
So I wasn't totally shocked today. A loss like that, Chris, will get you fired. When you can lose, but you can't lose like that in a game against a rebuilding team. Can't.
Well, and I'll give the new regime this, Rob. They do seem like they got big aspirations. Like they talked about this after the firing. Their aspirations are national championships. Period.
Yeah, but USC
was okay.
Did that.
I mean,
right.
I mean, and USC. Look, when we were kids, USC was a storied program.
Right.
They had all the running back, O.J. Simpson, Anthony Davis. I mean, Charles White. They were tailback U, and then they went through some down years, and then. Obviously, Pete Carroll brought him back to great, prominence, and now, they've struggled under Helton. They've been okay, but that's not good enough, and I like that. I like that their new regime is like, look, we want to compete for the national championship. So being okay, being mediocre, being pretty good, having a winning record, that's not going to get it done. Let me throw this at you, Rob. Because you've read the stuff about Clay Helton. And one thing people keep saying is he's a nice guy. He's such a
everybody
nice guy.
Says
he's
that.
Such
everybody.
In this situation, would that soften the blow of being fired, or would it make you more angry? Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't talk about how nice I am. Like, I want to be known as a good football coach. Don't bring in my personality. Or would it make you feel better that, they do recognize I'm a good man and all that?
I think none of that matters from the standpoint of whenever we talk about people, and I always say this to players and coaches, when I'm talking about you, I'm talking about your job performance, not whether you're a good father or husband, Chris, or a great friend or whatever. That's not what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
It's not your personal.
That has nothing to do with it.
And
it might be negative. You might not be a great guy, but that's not going to come into the discussion.
Right. 100%. It could be the reverse.
Life, it could be good or bad.
You could be right. You could be a miserable human being, but a great coach who just knows how to coach football, or is a good baseball manager, Chris, or basketball coach, or whatever it is, and that's what we're judging. I might not want to have dinner with them. There was a lot of people I met through the 35 years of covering sports. Some I thought were like great people, and I would love to go to dinner with. Others are miserable, terrible people. I would like to have nothing to do with them other than this is my job, and they happen to be a subject of something I need to get from them, information.
Right. Well, my point is, though, would you find it patronizing when people throw in, everybody's throwing in, he's a good man, he's a good man, he's a nice guy, he's a nice guy? Or would you be, feel good about it that at least they're saying that?
I don't want to hear that. That's just, you're trying to soft soak it, make me feel better. Like, I got fired, and I don't want, you don't have to trash me or whatever, but don't make, he's such a great guy. But this is not the boys' choir. Just Hey, he got fired because it's a results business. It's wins or losses. That's all on the menu.
It's a short menu.
Short menu, Chris.
I heard
that is
somebody
like
say that before.
Hey, now that's original. I got that. That's mine. Okay, I'm gonna start marking my territory on some of these things.
Some of these things, right?
So when I write that book,
I mean, because there's a lot that's not original. The
what are you talking
Couple,
about? The Odd Couple's original.
TV theme song Thursday.
I came up with that in Detroit.
All
Trash Talking Tuesday's
Trash
mine.
Talking Tuesday.
That's mine.
No, they're not original to this show. They're hand-me-downs.
They're original Rob Parkers. They are.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
right? Rob Parker.
So Helton's fired.
Rob Parker.
They got who is it? Dante Johnson, I think, or
their first black coach.
Yeah.
At USC.
He's taking over. You know, I guess if he.
It's an interim,
they're going to start
right?
a search, but if he does a good job, then yeah, it's interim. It's interim.
You could always, Chris. You could always win the job if you get together,
no doubt.
right?
No doubt.
I remember at Michigan State, Bobby Williams became the coach, Chris, and you know how? All the players marched to the president's residence and demanded he be made coach. The players. And they hired Bobby Williams. I don't know if you remember Bobby. He only had like 3 years at Michigan State.
Yeah.
It didn't go that well.
I do remember that. Yeah.
But the players all together as a group marched to the president's office.
So, Rob, with Helton being fired, guess whose name has already been kind of thrown out there? He's coaching in the NFL right now.
No, come on. Who?
Urban Meyer.
He just started.
Nothing to do with Urban. I mean,
but the name is out there?
Little rumbling. Remember, there was talk about him already a year or two ago.
Right, but then they said that they didn't think that USC would go for some of the baggage that Urban.
But now they about winning, baby. And here's what I'll say. And obviously, Urban, he had a tough introduction to the National Football League yesterday. But and Trevor Lawrence did too, Rob. Three interceptions. But he did have 3 touchdowns, but he also had 3 interceptions. And Lamar Jackson is looking very good. Just threw a touchdown pass to Hollywood Brown, Rob. Nice scramble.
Are they on their way to another 30 points?
Well, yes. They're up 14-0 early in the second.
Right.
So yes, to answer your question. Yes.
They're going for another 30-point win on open.
And Lamar just great scrambling to get free and hit Hollywood. There was another guy open right there too. I know he was like, "Yo, why don't you throw it to me?" But anyway, here's what I'll say about Urban Meyer, Rob. And I don't think it's one game. I don't think he's eyeing anything right now. But if it goes badly, I don't think he'll stay there very long.
Really?
And I don't think this is I'm not putting this on Urban. I think college coaches in general. Nick Saban didn't stay long in Miami. When you are used to being dominant, right? And you are used to, Rob, when you're a college coach, I mean, you run the state.
You run the whole program, right?
The players, the
police, the legal, it's bad.
You're
bad.
King. And you're not that in the NFL. Now, it's just a whole different setup. Players you're dealing with are grown men now. They're making more money
grown
than
men
you.
making millions of dollars.
Right. So it's tougher for you to get them to listen to you and all that. And so if it doesn't go well, Rob, I don't think they'd have to fire Urban. I think he'd be like, look, let me just go back to college where I know I can dominate. Why should I sit here and struggle? I don't have control over what players I have. You know what I'm saying? Like college, you have control over the guys. You're recruiting them.
You know what I thought? I thought, what would have happened if Tim Tebow was on the roster? That was my thought yesterday when they were losing to the Texans.
Nothing.
No,
you really think that would have become a controversy?
I'm just kidding.
From the fans, I guess that's what you're saying.
I'm just
because Lawrence was 3 picks. I mean, you're not going to defend that, but he was making things happen. He also had 3 touchdowns. I mean, it was just, it's a rookie, but it wasn't bad enough.
But some of that was garbage, because it was 27-7, right, at one point, Chris.
Yeah, they got handled. But it's going to be growing pains for him. He's on a bad team, as most first-round picks are, and It ain't Clemson, baby. That's for sure. And it's not Ohio State.
They say he
Urban
hadn't
Meyer.
lost, right? Did he ever lose since Pee Wee football?
Yeah, it's been a long time. I'll tell you that much.